Welcome to the Psychedelic Integration Podcast. I'm Sinclair Fleetwood, a ceremonialist, plant medicine guide, and psychedelic integration coach, and I help soul seekers create lasting transformation so you can get unstuck, embody your power, and be authentic AF, all with plant medicine as your guide. If you're ready to go beyond visuals and get a vision for your life, if you know the end of your ceremony is just the beginning of your expansion, then this show is for you. I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome. Hey family, welcome to the show. I'm Sinclair. Thanks for being here. Today we're going to talk about why psychedelic integration is the real medicine. And this is kind of an unsexy, unfun, frustrating truth for a lot of people who come to this work. If you're listening to the show, the chances are that you have had a visionary experience. You have had a ceremony with medicine. You have had the breakthrough. You have gotten the cosmic download. And maybe you have let go of a bunch of stuff, you have purged, you have tapped into things that were outside of your awareness, you have felt like you have really connected to the universe, to source, to spirit, and you have gotten home and returned to your regular life. The medicine wears off after a few days or a few weeks, and there you are in your old life, waiting. Why is nothing happening? What is going on? What did I do wrong, right? And the reason I started doing this work, my entire career in the psychedelic integration space and the ceremony space and the plant medicine guide space, is in response to my own experience not understanding what these medicines actually do, why I was taking them and they weren't working and they weren't sticking around, and why the magic was fading after I was having these amazing ceremonies. I had medicine so many times. The first year that I was working with it, I was working at an ayahuasca retreat center. I was a manager there. I was on the staff. I was in ceremony 4 or 5 times a month. We were doing medicine on our breaks. And the medicine was not the problem. I was getting a lot of connection. I was healing. I was getting rid of things. And we were not using the word integration in the place where I was working. We were not aware that there was something else, because the narrative around working with medicine, and ayahuasca in particular, was she's doing everything. She's going to magically heal you. Come pay us money, do your 12-day retreat, and you will go home a new person. The old you will die and a new you will come and take their place. And I felt that way at the beginning. There was so many things, so much deep healing happened to me in that retreat space. But as time went on and I was trying to walk with this medicine and figure out, like, okay, how do I keep being this more aligned version of myself? How do I carry this into my life? How do I walk with this wisdom? There was nothing. There was no integration. There was no support. There was no follow-up. It was just, come and take this and good luck. And it over time, I saw so many people who had come to retreat with us. I was in contact with them because I like to stay close with the people that I work with. And we got really close. It's a family experience when you go to a retreat, right? You really get connected. You get deeply enmeshed in other people's lives, and you want to see them win. You want to see them overcome their addiction. You want to see them leave their relationship that's not working. And what I saw was that people were desperate for transformation, but they were not willing to change anything. And I see that a lot now in my work, is people are like, well, I just need to integrate this. And where they're using that word and meaning, I want to feel better, but I don't want to change anything. That's where the disconnect is. And this integrative process really means walking with the wisdom of the medicine, walking with the new enlightenment that you receive from these medicines, from the journeys, the messages that you receive, the understanding, the bold-faced truth that will not let you hide, the real way that you actually feel, your authentic expression, your truth that can no longer be repressed, it cannot be ignored, it will not hide anymore. And when people start unearthing this stuff, your life is demanding that you change. And if you don't, it makes you really fucking miserable. Plant medicine and psychedelics are really exploding in popularity, but integration is still kind of the orphaned stepchild of the movement. It's like an afterthought. It's like a oh, just add this on for 30 minutes. We'll do a little call after our ceremony, make sure everyone's cool. It's so much more than sitting around in a circle and talking about what happened in your journey. That's not integration. And it's important to recognize that you can spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars going to retreats. And if you are not doing the work of integration, you're not embodying the wisdom. It won't stick around. And it won't stick around if you are not able to understand why it started in the first place. If you take yourself out of a situation, your regular life, where you're feeling miserable, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling like a bunch of stuff isn't working, you have a bunch of symptoms, whether it's mental, emotional, your job isn't going the way that you want, you feel stressed in your life, you're not sleeping, like whatever the things are, and you go out and you go into a retreat or you even go out into the woods and do your ceremony, you have a ceremony in your living room, you have this relief, this release from everything that's going on. You start to understand in a deeper way, okay, all this stuff that I'm making such a big deal is just a game of the mind, right? It's not real. What's real is all this deeper stuff. A lot of this stuff is just a program that I'm running, and I want to learn how to let go of that. I want to let go of these things that aren't feeling good. And then you go back to your regular life and everything's still the same. And then you get frustrated at yourself. You get frustrated at the medicine. You're like, this was supposed to fix me. Because we think that taking it once or twice is going to do the trick, because that's how it's being sold to us through the media. It's like there's all this science behind it, and people are having these big, huge experiences, which I have had many of them. It's beautiful to have a peak experience, to have a spiritual experience, a euphoric experience, to check in with spirit and really have the felt experience of like, I am not alone. I am never alone. I am part of everything that is. Everything is happening to me for a reason. I have chosen all of this. I am here to grow. I'm here to heal. I'm here to understand. And it's all pretty funny, actually. And when we keep checking in with the medicine without doing anything in daily life, we're really bypassing the experience of integration, because we're trying to hold on to the high from the medicine without actually doing any gritty, real, messy work of changing, and kind of being in denial about needing to change things. If you are doing the same things and you're thinking the same thoughts and you're living in the same life and nothing has changed and you still feel bad and the medicine isn't fixing it, it's time to look at your life and what isn't working. It's not take more medicine, go to more ceremonies, because the medicine will keep telling you the same thing. If you're not willing to do what your heart is telling you, we talk about alignment a lot in this work, like being in alignment, being in resonance. My retreats are called resonance. I call them resonance because the idea is we call you into a family community space, away from your phone, away from screens, out in nature. We are working with master plants, with master teachers. We are in community. We're in song. We're working with the elements, and it's the perfect environment for you to become aware of what resonates in your heart. Alignment is not something that you find in the mind. It's a heart thing. It's knowing that you are walking in and on the path that is most true to your heart and what you know, and your inner knowing, your highest self, your inner being. And you may not have a relationship with these parts of yourself yet. That's okay. That's what psychedelics are for. They're for the purpose of opening the portal to help us find connection to spirit, to find connection to nature, to deprogram from all of these beliefs that we have about ourselves, that we're not worthy, we're not good enough, we're not doing it right in some way, right? Integration is the set of tools and the process of building a bridge to bridge the gap between our daily lives, our regular ass, boring, non-magical ass lives, and the mystical, the spiritual, the sacred. And to know that we don't have to choose one or the other, we can walk with those together. And integration is permission to move slowly. It's to honor your humanity, to honor your unique characteristics that are special just to you. we come onto the seeking path because we think there's something wrong with us. And we're like, I need to fix this thing in myself, and I need to change myself, and I need to be my best self. And I like to invite you to come into resonance with your true self. And that self is going to be messy. That self is going to be imperfect. That self is going to need things that maybe you don't want to admit, or want things that maybe you don't want to admit, that haven't felt safe. And that's why I love my container Nest as well, because inside of Nest, well, I named it Nest because it's a nest. It's a place to come be a baby bird, to come be a baby psychedelic bird on this medicine path, to get real comfy with other psychedelic little baby birds who are learning their way in their lives, who are not trying to climb a mountain. Maybe you're not ready to go on a super quest and, work with a bunch of tools and have a bunch of, have a course or have a bunch of worksheets to do. Maybe you're not ready for curriculum. Maybe you're not ready for a power, a Capricorn. I'm a triple Capricorn. So I like climbing mountains. It's part of my astrology. It's part of it's part of who I am. And I deeply recognize the need to be held in this work in a safe space with no pressure, where you can just trust and learn to trust the process, learn to understand the medicine, get fed, by Mama Bird, which is me, where I'm sharing and I'm reframing and I'm helping you see these different ways that you are relating to yourself, to others in your own life, and to come into a place of safety with the mess that we have, because we're messy humans. We're not meant to be perfect. And so many people that I work with have perfectionism, people pleasing, tons and tons and tons of anxiety, depression, isolation, loneliness, fear of the future, all of these things that are coming to the surface and telling you something in my life isn't right. So you start working with the plant medicine, and often it will make things feel worse because it's showing you what is not in alignment with your heart. And the integrative process is getting in alignment. And I actually think that most of what integration is removing things that do not serve you, letting go of old limiting beliefs, questioning everything. Like, what if psychedelics are not just there to show us the divine, but to invite us to be the divine, to help us live alongside of it, with it inside of us? It's like psychedelics are a giant mirror, and they are showing you, yeah, here is everything, and you're part of it. And we get really stuck in needing some kind of protocol, right? Needing some kind of path. And I like a path personally. I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of motivation. I have a lot of power. I like a path. We're often looking outside, like there's got to be some perfect way that I need to do this, and I'm not doing it right? And I think we get this hangover effect from the ceremonies and the medicine, where you've watched all the YouTube videos, you have learned everything, you've read all the books, about science, and all the articles. And I mean, psychedelics are literally everywhere. You can find out anything you need to know about them. The science has caught up with the mysticism and the indigenous knowledge that's been there for eons. But we take all this in, and then we go have the ceremony, we go to the retreat, or we do, we work with the mushrooms or whatever, and you might feel something beautiful, and then you come back after it and you feel disconnected, you feel lonely, and you feel ashamed when it didn't magically fix you, because wasn't that supposed to happen? Wasn't it supposed to fix you just like that? Like, that's the reason that we think that it's going to be like that, is because of how we are trained to think about health and wellness and the pharmaceutical industry. Like, we are trained to think you go to a doctor, you get a diagnosis, and you get a medication, and that's fixed. And it's really a format that takes away symptoms. It does not heal the deeper cause, usually. We're just managing symptoms in our healthcare system. And this hangover effect, this like post ceremony disillusionment, this like, well, this medicine isn't going to work for me, is necessary, because you are in a process of deprogramming yourself from thinking inside of the Western medical model. And when you're letting go of, especially of programming and beliefs that have been there for a long time, especially when they are like core structure of your understanding and your worldview, it's very scary and lonely because you're surrounded by other people who are not doing this work, who don't understand what you're going through, who are probably thinking that you're taking a bunch of drugs and they don't understand the deeper spiritual components of it. They don't understand that it's a sacred journey, it's a sacred path. Even the science and it becoming mainstream is not necessarily giving other people the understanding of what you're doing because, well, if you know, you know. If you take psychedelics, there are people that take them and there are people who have not taken them. And you're either one or the other. Most of the, like, you can't understand it unless you've done it. And so that's sort of one way that we stay stuck in outside the integrative path because we don't understand it. We're just like trying to follow this old way of like working on ourselves and healing ourselves that doesn't apply to this new path that we're on. So it's totally natural and totally normal to feel that way. Then you have people who go and do every ceremony. They just keep taking medicine. They are like every weekend, every other weekend, going to ceremonies, creating ceremonies, having medicine just like a million times. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like you will not really hear me tell people, okay, well, don't have medicine. Like I believe that the frequency of how often you should sit with medicine is dependent on your intuition and being in touch with your intuition and your inner knowing. I personally like to have a ceremony every 4 to 6 weeks, or sometimes more often, but usually 4 to 6 weeks is about after 4 to 6 weeks. I can start to feel myself getting a little bit stuck in different old ways of thinking sometimes. So I like to tap back in every 4 to 6 weeks. And I go lots longer sometimes. I've gone 6 to 8 months without having medicine since I started this journey. I've had really years where I only did 1 or 2 ceremonies in the whole year. It's important to take time away from it so that you are able to work with the integrative side. For me, integration is a lifestyle. Integration is becoming whole. It is taking everything from every part of my life. The medicine journeys, the Gene Keys journey that I'm on. I am really, really deep into energy work this year, working with the Gene Keys, working with human design. All of the podcasts that I'm listening to, my business is another part where it's another spiritual teacher for me. The friendships that I have, my romantic relationship, any human relationship that I have, my client relationships, all of these different places, my relationship with nature, like there's so many inputs coming in. And we can collect ceremonies like merit badges. We can go put a ceremony on it. But if you feel like you're hopping from journey to journey and because you have to, because you're not able to hold on to what is coming through, that's a place to look. Maybe you're avoiding the deeper shadow work. Maybe something is trying to come through that's not able to come through because it needs more space and silence and softness to be fully understood and seen and witnessed inside of you, right? I think one of the other main reasons that integration is really a challenge for Westerners in particular is because in the West, we lack elders. We lack community containers. We don't have a lot of third places. Like this would be like a church or somewhere where you go and spend time with other people, not a bar, not a place where you have to go and pay for stuff. We don't have the community that we used to have. We don't have, we have school, we have church, we have our work, and then we have, friendships. And not a lot of people have access to a deep spiritual community. We don't have indigenous teachers showing us this stuff. Everything is really new and like psychedelics are the new thing. Psychedelics are not the new fucking thing. They're not new. They're not new. The science isn't new. The science is happening because they want to sell it. That's why they're putting money into it, is so that it can be sold as part of the pharmaceutical industry. That is not the same thing as sitting in a circle in a ceremony, singing around a fire. These are not the same experiences. In the indigenous traditions that carry these medicines, they hold weeks of dieta, of song, of storytelling. There is a community. They live in community, so they are always walking with this medicine. The family that I learned from in Ecuador, they live at their spiritual sanctuary. They are friends, they're family, and they do ceremony. And it's like that's just how their life is. They don't have to have special integrative containers because their life is their integration. And I think we really struggle because we don't have that. We don't have the teachers, we don't have the elders, we don't have the mentors, we don't have the guides. It's something we have to go seek out and find people who understand, who speak the language of spirit, who are offering new understandings and new ideas, who we can speak freely about these medicines to and with, who can guide us, who are knowledgeable because they have been there. And that is really the number one reason to work with a coach like me, because I have been there a lot and I'm still there. I am walking this path in my life. It is part of my life. It's not something I just do on the weekends, like walking with the medicine has become a spiritual practice for me where I am able to connect to my highest self, to my highest and best, to be in service. It provides so many options for me. So we're engaging with all of this information about this path, about psychedelic medicines, about plant medicines, and what we're seeing is trip reports and here's all the science and here's how the neuroplasticity works and here's everything you need to know. And you're listening to people's experiences, which most people are writing these reviews and like, here's what happened to me in my journey, like right after they have the medicine, right? My question is like, what are these people doing a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, 5 years later? Like, how are you changed? What have you done in your life? Yeah, you had an amazing, amazing, euphoric, connected experience, but did you keep the connection, right? Did you keep the connection? Did it move your life? Did it move the needle? We get so much healing inside of the ceremonial container. We wouldn't do it if it didn't work, right? It works. It works, but we want it to work and we want it to stick and we want it to motivate us to actually change something. We want the transformation. We don't want to stay a caterpillar. We don't want to stay in the cocoon. We want to grow the wings. We want to turn into goo and we want to spread our wings and fly and be that butterfly. Integration is how we change our attitudes, our beliefs, our day-to-day experiences of life. It's really the way that you feel better. And integration is removing all the obstacles inside of you that are keeping you from being in flow, from your heart being connected to your mind and vice versa. It's the process of taking you out of the mind where you might be living all the time into your body, embodying your vision, embodying your power, embodying your truth, owning your truth, like taking it and being like, that's mine, I chose that, I'm healing that, yes, this is me, I need this, I don't want this. If we are not walking with this process, how is this not just another peak experience? How is it not just getting high? I believe that psychedelic integration is the process of exploring, understanding, and embodying the mystical. It's embodying spirit, it's bringing it into your daily life. A lot of times you get these visions, you get this explanation of what needs to happen. And it might be dire, it might be hard, it might be a difficult truth. You might get a message, wow, I really need to leave my job. I need to leave my relationship. I need to be kinder to my mom. I want to show up in a different way. I want to be a better dad. I need to tell someone I love them. I need to stop drinking, change my habits, take better care of my body, be kinder to myself. This stuff all comes up and you can run away from it. So these medicines lift up a rug that's in you, shine a light on it, and they're like, are you going to clean this up? Because there's a whole bunch of stuff you've been sweeping under this rug. Or are you going to keep living in this mess that you've been living in? So people avoid integration because it's hard. It's challenging. It's not the fun and sexy part. The fun, sexy part is taking the medicine and being in the ceremony and singing the songs and having the big cathartic purge, releasing, crying, really, tapping into your trauma and getting to know here is the source of all of this. But if you know it and you don't do anything with it, you're going to have a very hard time changing anything in your life, right? So we have this very disconnected experience. We have this solitary experience. There's not a community around us. I think it's just wild that psychedelics are being portrayed as this like do it yourself by yourself in your basement experience. That just blows my mind. This is a communal experience. We are here healing as a family for the benefit of humanity. And the magic of the medicine is in the challenge. The answer to how to solve the problem of not feeling integrated and not feeling supported and not being connected to the family and not having the infrastructure in your life to make the change is actually inside of the problem of not doing it, right? Because it's sort of the things that I just pointed out, all of these obstacles to integration, the answer is inside of them. The answer to feeling better is to find the root of what's making you feel bad. Go beyond the symptoms, go beyond the dopamine seeking, the moment, the pain in the moment, and build your capacity to sit with your own discomfort. Be willing to be uncomfortable, to find the answer, to look deeper into yourself, to turn your awareness inward. We are constantly looking outside of ourselves for answers, for someone to show us the way. And plant medicine is firmly staring you in the face and saying, you are the one that you've been waiting for. You're the one that has the answers for you. And you have the capacity to heal yourself. You have the capacity to find what this problem is trying to show you. And it's messy. It's non-linear. Integration is not it's not a checklist that you can do. It's going to take you on a journey with peaks and valleys. It's going to invite you to change the way that you think, to change and let go of some of your beliefs that aren't serving you. It's going to ask you to bring the feminine in, to start thinking in a process-based way. So you can start learning how to be kinder to yourself. If you take medicine and what you see inside of you is this deep lack of self-love, a lack of trust, a wound of abandonment, all of these things that have been hiding underneath, like these are the unacceptable things that your consciousness has hidden from you inside the shadow, and the shadow reaches out and hands them to you, and it's like, here's all the stuff. That's where you start. You start in the dark. It's not do a bunch of tasks, meditate every day, and you're going to feel better. The practices are important. The practices are important if they're supportive. If you're just doing practices, if you're just meditating, if you're just checking off boxes and your heart's not in it and you don't believe that it's working, you might as well not do it. We have to learn how to be discerning. We have to learn how to be patient. And absolutely, number one, we have to learn how to love ourselves, how to find value in ourselves, how to rewrite the stories of what trauma and neglect and abandonment and loss mean, and what kind of person we are. And we have to learn how to practice self-compassion, to flex your muscles, to like, you can think about it as like working out, you know? You're not gonna get ripped overnight from one workout. Medicine is the same. Integration is the same. It's a practice. And when you start out, you might just be doing, you know, little hand weights, little granny hand weights, just doing your workout. And then as time goes on, you keep doing it and you can lift heavier and heavier. And you can start doing more and more, and your body becomes strong and your spirit becomes strong. And you're like, I look good, I feel good. It's like that. The integrative process is a cumulative, long-term way to express your relationship with yourself and with spirit and with everyone around you in your life. And it's messy. That's okay. It's meant to be messy. It's okay to be messy. We think that there's a right way to do things. There's not. There's no right way. There's only the way that you do it that's best for you. You're not meant to do it by yourself. Like, if you are failing at this, or you feel like you're failing, because you can't fail, everything is just a step on the path. There is no failure. Failing is just a way that we learn, you know? Making mistakes is the way that we learn. When something doesn't feel good, we learn from it and we try it again in a different way. We are not meant to be healing by ourselves. Healing is not solitary. Healing is family. We need circles. We need elders. We need guides. We need rituals. We need ceremony. We need to remember that there is such a thing as sacredness, as reverence, as respect. We don't have many of these spaces in our daily lives. And so it makes us feel like tourists. It makes us feel like we are not part of the spiritual realm, like it's something that other people have that we don't have access to. You know, you may want desperately to be a spiritual person, but you don't claim that for yourself. And it's something that it's okay to get support with. You need a bridge. You need someone who knows how to get back and forth over this bridge, because it's really hard to do it by yourself, for yourself, only with yourself. Getting support invites you to have someone there to tell you, just for you, how does this work for you? What's going on in your particular life, in your particular situation, and to walk the way with you, to hold your hand, to be your Sherpa, to help you see your own power, to see here is a path to embodiment, to talk about the things that you are starting to understand about yourself, to talk about the things that come up for you on the path, and to give you some guidance and show you a way to go, and to invite you to take your intuition back and turn it back on, to take your power back from the places that you've lost it, and to create an integration map, to take small actionable changes one step at a time, to rewire your brain one thought at a time, one belief at a time. And it's really hard to do this if you haven't done it. I had to learn how to do this because I knew there was something wrong. There was a big disconnect for me. I did not understand how I could have so much medicine and be so far away from understanding what happened to me. I felt really like disconnected from my own life. I was living in a different country. Like, so many things were outside of me, and I realized I needed to ground everything in, because I had gotten the spiritual stuff. The spirit connection was wide open, and it stayed open. It's been open. But if you are all spirit and no earth, you are going to have a very hard time, my friend, because we are earth beings. We are physical, material beings. We need to ground these lessons into our bodies, embody the vision, and walk with it in your life, right? And that is how we find our tribe. That is how we find our people, showing up to places, trying new things, coming out of the psychedelic closet and be like, I work with plant medicine. I'm looking for other people that work with plant medicine, because I need to know some people that speak the language of spirit. We need to use our bodies, get into our bodies, learn how to express ourselves, because so much of what's going on is repression. It is bottling it up. It is not allowing yourself to feel. It is not allowing yourself to be seen, to take up space. It's not allowing yourself to be who you actually are. It's not accepting your quirkiness, your neurodivergence, whatever it is that's outside the very narrow spectrum of what we think is okay and what we think is true and right and good. That is a fake doorway that we have been told only the best people are like this and everyone else needs to try to be like this. Fuck that doorway. We need to embrace the rainbow of all of the different ways that we are. The energy types and the personalities and the things that we get excited about, and disengage from this constant stream of inner criticism and telling ourselves that we're not good enough, and telling ourselves that we're not worthy, and telling ourselves that everything that we do and how we do it is wrong because somebody said. Who said? You're the boss of you. No one is the boss of you but you. So how we embody the medicine is rip open the blocks, tear down the walls between the mind and the heart and the body, and bring them all in together and invite spirit to be the juice, the music that plays, that gets you flowing, right? And honor your cycles, honor your seasons, honor the soft ways that you want to move through the world. Some days you're going to feel super connected to spirit, you're going to be vibing, and then you're going to have some down days, and that's okay. We're not always in the ceremony because we don't live there. We live in the real world, and the real world isn't the ceremony. But we can go into ceremony, we can have those ritual experiences and those sacred, mystical, euphoric, beautiful, difficult experiences, and we can bring ourselves home into our bodies, bring all of that spirit into our bodies, bring that belief and that love and that trust and that family, that being seen by family feeling in your body. And that's what holds you up on the days that you don't feel good, because you know that that exists in the world, that you are part of it, that there are people who love you. And hopefully you have a place where you can say, hey, I'm not feeling so great today. Hey, I need some support today. Hey, this is what's going on. I'm having a hard time at my job. I'm having a hard time with my partner. Can somebody listen to me? I need to have a chat. Or maybe you show up every Wednesday night for Nest and we talk about what's going on with you. That's what we do. We are there for each other, and there's no pressure to do anything. It's just you getting to know yourself. It's just you understanding, how does this medicine move in me? How does it work in me? I want to learn more. I want to understand myself. Transformation is not about staying high from the journey. It's about high maintenance. It's about learning to walk with the medicine, to walk with the wisdom, and to do the practices and the actions that keep you in that high vibration, that maintain your flow and that maintain your outlook and your vibrancy and your charisma and your weird you-ness, whatever that is. Everything is different. We're all different, right? So everybody has a different path of like, what do I need to feel integrated? What do I need to feel whole? What is my worldview? What is my belief system? This is what we do in the integrative path. The medicine is the mirror, and it's showing you you. That's all. And so integration is how we learn to love and live what we see. So if you are new on the path to integration and you want to come and be amongst the family, amongst people who are walking this path, who are seeking truth inside themselves, come join us inside of Nest. We meet every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It is a month-to-month membership. There is no commitment required. It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of effort. It's a safe place. You can come and stay as long as you like. For deep divers, I recommend one-on-one coaching. You can have a private container to build this bridge brick by brick from ceremony into your real life. And for those of you who are looking for a retreat experience, we have 2 more resonance gatherings this year. One is July 4th to 7th. We have a few spots left for that. September 12th to 15th. If you are interested, go to my website, sinclairfleetwood.com. You can find information about Nest, working with me one-on-one, and how to join resonance all on the website. Thanks so much for being here. I hope that you feel this so much in your heart, that you know integration is exactly right. You're doing it right. And thanks for being here, family. See you next time.